What's up, everybody? We're live again. Well, not we. It's just me, right, for now. We're doing another live stream. Lego Star Wars. You guys have been waiting all day for this, haven't you? Probably not. Melissa might join in a bit. We're just, I was like, hey, we can set up a stream and I can play some more levels because we haven't done this in a while. So I'm going to do it before I'm out of the country for a week and a half. I probably forgot all the controls, and I don't even remember where we left off, but let's just jump right back in. How's everyone doing today? Do you guys like these streams? By the way, are they fun? Do we have a good time streaming it up? I don't know. I'm just sitting here talking to myself. How's everyone's week? How's everyone's day? We're getting into summertime. Summertime's fun. A lot of traveling. A lot of Star Wars content this summer. We'll have ObiWan next week, which I can barely wait for. I still can't believe that we're getting that next week. And then, I'm in Phantom Menace. And then, Andor this summer, too. And Star Wars Celebration next week, which I'll be at for a little while. So come see me if you're there. Oh, yeah, I remember this now. Qui-Gon's in his Tatooine disguise. Oh, I don't want that thing. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to go grab it. Where did he go? In here? Oh. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, no. It's a haunted protocol droid. What does he want? Why did he look at me like that? I'm going to kill him. Come here. Oh, I got a key. And I don't know what to do with it. See, these puzzle games. Oh, never mind, I got it. God, I'm so smart. Oh.
I am unable to help, but another solution will reveal itself, I'm sure.
Well, I told you I was going to forget the controls, and I did. Just listen, Butter says, just listen to the podcast, and I'm super hyped for Kenobi. You and me both, my friend. Thanks for listening, by the way. I'm glad you guys tuned into the show. Melissa and I are both super, super excited. I don't know how much more excited I could be. It's like surreal for me. I can't believe we're actually getting an ObiWan Kenobi show. It's like we've waited for so long, and it's finally here. Like, that's wild to me. It's wild. And, like, it looks so good. I know some people are nervous about it, but I am just completely stoked, and I think it's going to be amazing. Maybe I'd be him. Swap. What is happening?
I just can't do it. I wish I could.
Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I'm trying to find... See, I told you I was going to forget the controls, and guess what? I forgot the controls. Oh, here we go. There we go.
Hello, I am C-3PO.
Oh.
How may I be of assistance?
What is going on here? Oh. Oh, ba-boom.
That was very unpleasant.
Oh, cool. Ghost Protocol. Yeah, dude, like, Kenobi coming out next week. I just keep checking my watch because I'm hoping it's going to be the 26th. Because I think it's going to come out on that, like, probably midnight Eastern time is what I would imagine. On the 26th, so I guess it'd be 27th morning. But I don't know. By the way, we should definitely sell the shirts we made for the pod. Thanks, yeah. Exciting stuff on the way. So stay tuned for all that. Also, the pins. If you guys haven't seen the pins yet, quick plug for the pins. I will be giving these out at Star Wars Celebration. If you guys want those too, or other merch, let us know. We can also kind of tie some of this stuff into our memberships, which we may or may not be launching soon. So you guys will have to let us know what you guys want in terms of what would be a good thing to offer for memberships. But yeah, the shirts we'll definitely have shirts coming in the near future for you guys to buy. I think Melissa did a great job designing them, and I think it'd be fun to have. So we might as well do it, you know. This game's a little confusing because I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Do I go up there? Yes. But I need a scavenger to do that. See, it's like the whole thing's a big puzzle. I thought normally it is midnight PST. Yeah, that's the. Oh, maybe you're right. I thought it was midnight EST, but I don't know. Maybe I'm totally crazy. Because that's happened to me in the past. I think it's been available. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. I'm getting out of here. Sick of being on this hunk of junk planet. Uh-oh. Do I have to fight Darth Maul? Kill Jar Jar. I don't think that's how the fight actually went in the movie. This is not accurate.
Finally, what? There you are. Finally, we have revealed ourselves to the Jedi. Follow them, my young apprentice. You know what to do.
Oh yeah, this was crazy. Like, I need to watch the Phantom Menace again.
Well, if we can avoid fighting any more hooded strangers, perhaps we'll actually get to Coruscant this time.
But
However, I believe that strange.
God, this game has so much more left to play. That was so crazy that like the Sith are back. Like they haven't been back in a long time. We finally get to see them again. Like that's such a cool concept. You know what I mean? But Darth Maul is such a good bad guy, and he was so dope in Phantom Menace. I just wish they didn't kill him off. I know he came back, but it's like it's not really the same. Like it would have been so much cooler if they didn't. I mean, it makes sense that they killed him. Like Obi-Wan kills him because, you know, he kills Qui-Gon, which is a bummer. Major bummer. But whatever. The story happened the way the story happened, and I'm just grateful it happened.
Fancy that. A personal welcome from Senator Palpatine himself.
Let us quickly explain the situation in Naboo, so my people may finally be saved.
Greetings, Your Majesty, Master Jedi.
Oh, I get to be Queen Amidala. Cool. Okay.
It is a great gift to see you alive, Your Majesty. With the communications breakdown, we had begun fearing the worst. I'm anxious to hear.
What do you guys think is the best way to
situation on
watch
Naboo.
the movies?
Your Highness, would you be
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
as to accompany me to the Senate
5,
to
6,
discuss the matter there?
2, 3, 4. I like 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then maybe skip the sequels.
The Supreme Chancellor Valorum has called for a special session of the Senate to discuss the situation on Naboo.
Oh, sorry. Where am I going?
Though, I must be frank, he has little real power, and it is unlikely the Senate will act on the invasion. I believe
I'm still very impressed with these graphics, too. Like, these are so well done. And it's also very crisp on my monitor. I know you guys can't see my monitor. Although you can see it. I mean, if you have a good monitor at home, I guess you can see it the same. I hope the quality's good from the way I'm streaming this. Again, I'm new to streaming. I don't know what I'm doing, necessarily. And I'm trying my best.
Splendid. You returned. No, where was I? Here we are.
For me, it's 1 through 6, and we can skip the sequels. Under the rug. Force Awakens is decent. It's just, I mean, it's a carbon copy of A New Hope. I mean, everyone knows that. It's fine. I did leave the movie feeling unimpressed and a little sad, to be honest.
Once you're ready, come find me in my office. We shall
But I was looking forward to the next movies, and I was like, they can still save this. I hated how they killed Han. That bummed me out because it's like we wanted to see these characters, have them back, and then like Luke doesn't even. We don't get to see Luke interact with Han at all. I mean, come on. It might have been due to scheduling conflicts or something, but still, like that's such a bummer. We didn't get to see that at all. Like there was such a misfire. And so that really made me sad. But other than that, I don't think it was like the worst movie ever. It's just like, you know, there's some misfires in there. It's a little loud, is it not? Yeah. Has anyone completed this game? I'm sure someone's completed this game all the way through. It's just there's so much to do. There's so much to complete. Like, look at all these missions and stuff. Shut up. I will smite you where you stand. Yeah, I totally agree. The fact that sequels never have a reunion of the main characters is completely criminal. I don't understand the logic behind that. And now we'll never have it. Now we'll never have it.
So, where's your final destination?
Okay, I guess we're going to the Senate building. Like, Carrie Fisher's gone now. Harrison Ford, he's probably got a couple of years left. I bet Mark Hamill's going to live to be, like, 100. He just strikes me as that kind of guy who takes care of himself and has great genes.
Who has good genes?
What's up?
Hey, who has good genes?
Mark Hamill, I was assuming, because like I was saying, the fact that the three of them never got together in the sequels is kind of criminal. It's like terrible.
Oh.
Like that was such a miss.
That...
Like when the lights, like I could get into this forever, but like when Poe, or not Poe, whatever his name is, Finn is fighting Kylo in the woods, you'd think Luke would show up there, be perfect. Maybe he gets. Or maybe he would have gotten. Maybe Luke would have gotten reunited with Han at some point, or maybe we get a flashback scene, but we didn't get that. And now we're never going to get the chance to see Han and Leia and Luke together because Leia's not around anymore. And I think Harrison Ford only has a certain amount of time left, and I think Mark Hamill will probably live the longest. That's my assumption.
I don't even think Harrison Ford has the interest, to be quite honest.
No, he doesn't have the interest. I mean, I think the only reason he agreed to be in Star Wars was if they killed him off. But that's the point is, not to have them all in one scene, even though he agreed to do one movie, is like absurd.
No, it was awful. It was the stupidest decision I think they could have made. Is let's just keep them separate, and then we'll kill each of them off in each one of the movies, because Han dies in the first one, Leia dies in the second, and then Luke dies in the third, and it's just depressing.
Yeah. It is depressing. I mean, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to start a new generation of Star Wars. But, like...
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to
better.
kill off... You shouldn't have to kill off or make the old characters look worse to highlight the new ones and make the new ones look better. And that's what they did.
Uh-oh, is this frozen? Oh.
Did I get cut off?
No. The game froze or something.
Oh, it didn't freeze over here.
No, okay, yeah.
Do you really believe we can convince Boss Nass to help us, Skyness?
Look at this idiot. Look at this dummy.
I agree with you, Butters. I do think Mark Hamill will live to 800.
Look at this dumb idiot.
He's our dumb idiot.
I don't know. He's not a great character.
I don't know. I thought it was sweet how Ewan gave Ahmed Best a shout out the other day.
Oh, he did?
In
I didn't see
an
that.
interview, they said, okay, if you could meet any Star Wars character, he sat there and very seriously said, I'd meet Jar Jar. I think Jar Jar and I would have a good conversation, but I would like to mostly just speak with Ahmed Best again. It was really sweet.
That is nice. I mean, that guy's not a bad actor. It's just like, again, like the problem with a lot of these things is just the writing.
The fans were terrible to him, though.
They were. I mean, the fans are terrible to a lot of people unnecessarily when it comes to Star Wars, like Jake Lloyd, and the list goes on and on and on. But like, it's just funny how they, like, I remember being a kid when Attack of the Clones came out, and I'm like, where's Jar Jar? And they just kind of like made him fall into the distance because the response was so terrible.
Well, he was a senator in Attack of the Clones, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. He was just like, but he has like one line.
I do have to admit though, like, I'm interested to know what happened to that character. Like, genuinely, like, I'm actually interested because he fell off the face of the planet.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like, they didn't, there was no resolution to it, and I guess that's probably just because they're trying to avoid talking about him anymore.
Probably because it's just such a controversial thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like what they did with him in the Clone Wars. Very unironically, one of my favorite episodes of the Clone Wars is the one where Anakin, Padme, and Jar Jar go back to Naboo because they're worried that Boss Leone, it's not Boss Nass anymore. I wish they would have explained what happened to Boss Nass, but it's Boss Leone, and they're worried that he's joining the droid army to attack the Naboo, and that's actually one of my favorite episodes, and Jar Jar's the main character in that episode.
Really? I think I remember that one, actually.
I really, really liked that episode, and I think it was because I think they utilized Jar Jar's comedic aspect in a really good way, because they put him in contrast with General Grievous, which is not something that you would expect, but it made for a really funny dynamic, so I liked that episode a lot.
Yeah, there's some really funny episodes in there that they kind of toss in that have, like, redeeming moments for characters like that,
Yeah,
I mean, the droid episodes I can do without. Those are... I don't need those.
There's a few moments in the droid episodes that I like. There's a couple moments that make me laugh a lot. And then I think in the last episode of one of the droid arcs, they have an Anakin and ObiWan scene, and you get to see the entire scene from the perspective of a clone, which was really cool.
Oh, that is cool. What do you think? So the thing I'm curious about is, what do you think's going to happen? Like, do you think people will look on the sequels as we do the prequels?
Ooh. I think the general public's opinion will become gentler with time. But I honestly, I think it would really depend on if Lucasfilm will still pursue projects with those characters. Because in that Vanity Fair article that they talked about this weekend is Kathleen Kennedy said that they're trying to move on from the Skywalker Saga. Now, I don't know if that's just talk and that won't actually happen, but that technically does include the sequels. And because the sequels have been so controversial, I can't see them making any TV series about that specific era.
No, and the characters
right now.
aren't very liked, honestly. Like, they didn't do a good job, and this is one of my problems with it, is they didn't do a great job making you like those characters. I'm fine with moving on. In fact, I think you need to move on from the Skywalker Saga. But you need to do it in a better way.
Yeah.
Like, you need to make me care about these new characters that you're creating. You need to make me feel for them and empathize with them,
Yeah, and to be fair, I don't think that no, let me start over. To be fair, I think that the problems that a lot of people had with the prequels at the time are completely different from the issues that the people have with the sequels now. Like, yeah. I think that they're two entirely separate things. One based on execution, and then the other one just undoing.
Based on story.
Yeah,
well,
undoing what came before.
Yeah, and I don't think there was anything in the story of the prequels is very good. It's very good. The execution is poor. But that doesn't... I still thoroughly enjoy it. Who's
Yeah.
locked a big bubble? And I think the story with the sequels was not great. I don't think it's a good. I don't think any of them are good stories. The first one's fine, but it's unoriginal. The second one is just has lots of problems with it, with some good elements, and same with the third one. There's decent elements, but it gets muddled up because there's too many people involved. And I've said this a million times, but that's what it is. And I think that's the major difference. Is one of them has good story, poor execution. The other one has good execution, poor story. Like
Yes.
the graphics and stuff in the sequels. And the CGI is incredible. And like someone pointed this out in one of our videos today, like the throne room scene in The Last Jedi. Yeah, it's a cool fight scene. It is a really good fight scene. It's one of the only really good moments in the movie, in my opinion. But like the story's not there, so it doesn't have the impact that it should.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's just I hate it when people act like the same issue I hate it when people act like the issues are the same with both trilogies when it's like they're two totally different areas that people had problems with. And I think my main problem is that the sequels undid what the previous movies accomplished and ignored the prequels, which made me pretty mad. And then the prequels had good story, but the execution wasn't like wholeheartedly there in a lot of areas. So
yeah, I think you're right. And I mean, when you have George Lucas running it, it's like
George Lucas,
it helps a lot more, and also like he screwed up the execution in some ways, and like, but it's like we know what you were trying to do, if that makes sense.
I think a really good example of it is I think George Lucas is wildly creative. I think he's introduced some of the best concepts in sci-fi, and he has asked a lot of really good questions. I think what he needs is someone to put that through before it reaches the final stage, and a perfect example of that is working on the Clone Wars with Dave Filoni. Because essentially George would go to Dave and be like, hey, Darth Maul's back. And Dave Filoni would be like, how? How is he back? And George is like, I don't know, you'll figure it out, but here's the basic idea.
Yeah.
And so like he gave it to Dave and his team, and then Dave and the team brought it to term.
Right.
And it went a lot smoother, which is why the Clone Wars was so successful, is because here's George, he's the maker, he has the creator and the idea. It's a little bit wonky in some areas, but you give it to the team, and then that's kind of the filter through to sandpaper it down and make it refined before it's the final product.
Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't know that was George Lucas's idea.
There's an interview with Dave Filoni somewhere where he was like, where Dave literally recounts, and he's like, nope, George just said, hey, Darth Maul's back. And they were like, how? And George was like, well,
Somehow
I don't know.
Maul
but
returned.
here's the basic idea, but you guys will figure it out. But that's essentially like what the Clone Wars was. It's like George had a lot of say in the Clone Wars, but a lot of those concepts were sandpapered to final production by the team. And unfortunately, the sequels were the culmination of 20,000 different executives and producers and writers all trying to put their hands in the pot, and because of that we got the movies that we did. And it wasn't a collaboration, it was like kids fighting.
No, 100% that's what it was. It was just kind of a mess. But I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. Like, what are you going to do about it? Like, all that anticipation. And that's like one of the biggest letdowns of my life.
What, the sequels?
Yeah, watching the first sequel, I'm like, okay, you know what? Not great, but you know what? The second one will make up for it, and it did not.
It ended up being the most divisive movie of all time.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's all I have to say about that. Where am I supposed to go? This is frustrating me.
Look at the little questions. Look at the arrow.
I know, that's what I'm doing.
All right, I haven't looked at anybody's comments. Yes, Butters. All of the prequel actors suffered so much unfair abuse, which is why it's amazing to see the love they're getting now. Yes, I definitely agree with that. It is very, to quote Hayden Christensen, it's very heartwarming, and they definitely deserve all the love that they're getting now.
They totally do. And we're a week away from some just more incredible content.
The High Republic era is where I think Star Wars is headed. A blank slate for new storylines and characters that won't be burdened by established lore. Actually, that's a really good point. I could see that. To be quite honest, I kind of prefer the Old Republic. And I kind of understand why they're not going that direction, just because it seems to be its own self-contained thing in gaming. And it's whatever the what is it, BioWare and LucasArts, which is not LucasArts anymore, it's called something else, need it to be. I would personally prefer the Old Republic, but I agree with you. I think the High Republic era is definitely where they're headed. I don't want to judge or say anything yet, but I haven't found that too interesting from all the books and novels and the comics, or if they've been doing comics, I don't know. Not too peachy keen on it, but that could change. I think the Acolyte will be the first introduction to the new slew of Star Wars television series and movies.
That will be interesting, I think. It'll either be, like, I think we talked about this on the show, but, like, it'll either be really good or really not.
It has potential. I hope they're taking it the direction that they seem to be taking it in, which is just dark side focused.
Yeah, which would be awesome. Like, that's a fantastic idea if that's the case.
Like, I love my good guys, but I also really like my bad guys. I like knowing what makes them tick.
Yeah, I agree. I think if they do execute it correctly, it could be like one of the best Star Wars shows ever.
I agree. Plus, it'd be kind of cool to see them kick some Jedi ass. I don't know. It would be really interesting just to see that happen and their evil plans.
Do you think it'd be that, though, or do you think it'd be more of like a Sith kind of starting to rise up? Because what I was talking about on the show before you jumped on was like the fight scene between Qui-Gon and Maul is one of the best scenes in the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely one of the best scenes in Episode 1, if not the best. But, like, that was a awesome moment because it's like the first time the Sith have revealed themselves to the Jedi in a long time. And, like, Qui-Gon's all confused. It's like, what's happening? So I would imagine if this show happens 100 years before that, it's probably not going to be, like, outright Sith out and about, right?
Wow, that has definitely got to be Phil Lamar doing the Jar Jar voice. That's all I'm going to say. It sounds like Season 1 Jar Jar of Clone Wars. That was distracting. But, no, I agree. I think it will be their coming back into power phase. But it also kind of brings up, like, does Palpatine have a lineage of, like, Sith mentors? So Plagueis, if Plagueis taught him, who taught Plagueis? And could we see the person that taught Plagueis?
Right.
So I'm interested in the Sith lineage of that being passed down. Like, oh, Palpatine was taught by Plagueis. Plagueis was taught by blank. They could canonize some of these characters like Darth Revan.
Yeah, which would be awesome. Usadis.
Usadis.
Queen Amidala. No. I am Queen Amidala. I am Queen Amidala.
Is the audio coming through okay from the game?
Yeah, it's not like super loud, but
Okay, good. I mean, I don't want it to be super loud anyways. It was kind of loud in my headphones, which is why I turned it down.
It was necessary to protect myself. If we do not act quickly, all will be lost forever. I beg you to help us.
We
saw
saw being
friends. Ooh,
Oh boy, this movie. This story. Boss Nass swing and a miss. Actually, swing and a hit. I love Boss Nass. Jar Jar might be a bit of a miss.
Bad guys of Star Wars are the most iconic. Vader, Maul, Dooku, Palpatine. Yeah, that's actually true.
I mean, yeah, dude. Dooku's not like super iconic, but he's cool. Like, Maul is instantly recognizable. Vader is probably the most recognizable villain ever. And it's relatable to every kid everywhere. That's why it's such a good kids movie. And I cannot wait to show my kids Star Wars for the first time. I saw another video on TikTok the other day of a dad recording his son when it's revealed that Darth Vader is, in fact, Luke's father. Spoiler alert. And I'm like, I cannot wait to do that with my kids.
Big part of that, I think, is the
Better Call
tradition
Maul.
of passing it down. Better Call Maul.
That's funny.
There are apparently a lot of prequel references in this game. Just they're meme references, like jokes about the high ground and stuff.
We're only on the first Phantom Menace, which I'm getting tired of this. I kind of want to do A New Hope again.
You're almost done with this. You are really close to being done with this level.
Yeah, it's true. Shut up.
I'll try spinning. That's a good trick. Dun, dun. Is he reading a newspaper?
We'll handle this.
Vroom, vroom. Can't get over James Arnold Taylor's voice acting in this game. He sounds so close to Ewan.
Yeah, he does. Wait, I can't fight Maul. They're not gonna let me fight him. This level in Jedi Power Battles. Oh yeah, I can't fight him. Is the best level. So good. God, this scene is so awesome too.
Be on guard and remember your training, Obi-Wan.
Don't kill me.
You should have remembered your training, Qui-Gon.
I'm gonna aim it at you. Suck it, loser.
Probably should announce.
Dodging can be text by moving in direction by L and pressing A.
How does that go?
Oh, sorry.
Butters asks, what do you guys think of the CGI/deep fake characters in Star Wars? We did talk a little bit about this yesterday. I think it's that comment by Kathleen Kennedy about learning from their mistakes when casting Alden Ehrenreich. I thought that was a really strange thing to say, just because Ewan is a recast. Now, granted,
Yeah.
I didn't love Solo, and I didn't necessarily love Alden, but I don't think he did a terrible job. I just think he did what he was able to work with. But, I mean, and technically, Matt said this yesterday too, technically Luke is a recast. Like, who's the actor that they cast the second time around in the Book of Boba Fett? Have you seen the pictures of him with just his hair and the outfit without the CG on his face? Because he looks a lot like Mark Hamill.
Yeah, he does. I was thinking the same thing. I still gotta watch that Book of Boba Fett documentary. I haven't seen the whole thing yet.
I gotta be honest, I don't mind the CG. It's just, I think they're keeping the CG because of the believability of it to actually make you go, oh yes, that's Luke, without it having to be an adjustment. The thing that gets me though is I do not understand why they use an AI for the voice, because there are so many good impressionists out there that, like, it just seems weird to use a really stiff robotic voice when the face is already CG, because then, like, if you're trying to convince people with CG, but but you also have a robotic voice, then the robotic voice is kind of taking away from the CG because the robotic voice can't like have inflections or change tone or say things when they're really happy versus I'm really sad. It's just kind of this stagnant line.
Yeah, like, will I see you again from Luke and Book of Boba Fett to Ahsoka?
Yeah,
Sounded
it's
really
just
fake.
It's
But I
like
mean,
they
I think
could get
overall
an
it's really
impressions.
good. Like, they had the technology to do it, so they did it, you know? And I think it's a risk, but it's a risk recasting someone altogether as well. And, like, it paid off big time with Mandalorian. Now, I don't want to see them get too overzealous with it and do it too often or too much, which they definitely run the risk of doing. But
I mean,
it's been used very well so far.
yes, I'll agree with that. I think they've done. I think the jump from the way that Luke looked in Mando season 1 from the way that Luke looked in Book of Boba Fett was night and day difference in terms of the CG. It looked totally different. But the voice, I think I can get behind the CG, but I do agree with you, Matt. I think that there's a tendency to abuse it, and I think that the fake AI creepy voice needs to go because I don't think the tech is there yet. And
I think it's
really,
very close.
I think.
But I mean, what else are they supposed to do? Do a voiceover, like impersonate Mark Hamill?
No, I mean, even like, I was even thinking like voice actors. I mean, there's so many voice actors and so many people that do spot on impressions of these characters that actually sound like them talking. And so even if that was them going into the recording booth and then like re-recording the lines that the actor says while on the set, I mean, if they can replace the original voice with an AI, then they have to be able to do it with a voice actor.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm for it as long as they do it sparingly and well. And I don't think they need to do much more. I mean, they could not do it again with Luke for a long time, and I'd be happy. You know, sometimes it's best to do things like that.
Well, even if they did, you know, because there's a huge gap between Return of the Jedi and then everything else that happens, even in going up into the Force Awakens. If they wanted to do that, like, they could tell the adventures of Luke, Han, and Leia after Return of the Jedi. But if they were going to do that, I would almost say do it animated, like how the Clone Wars filled the gap.
Yeah.
Because the Clone Wars was wildly successful in that regard because they had such a vast opportunity to tell all these stories in an animated television format. And because of that, it gave the prequels so much more depth. And I really think that they could do the same thing with the original trilogy characters, only animated. And I think it could be really successful.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be really cool. But also, it's like, do they even want to continue this Skywalker thing? You know, Skywalker.
I don't know.
Saga thing. Like,
Time's
it
gonna
might be
tell.
worth just like, you know, letting the story go for a while and building your own things. Like Mandalorian is a great offshoot. Yeah, it's good to have these old characters pop in once in a while, but he's a great new character. Like, I don't know why they couldn't have done that with the sequels.
Because they were rushed. They wanted money. They wanted to get people excited again. They were really crapping on the prequels at that time when in 2015 when they were like, "Oh, this is going to be good Star Wars. It's not going to be anything like the prequels," because they really took a crap on the prequels during that time when those new movies were coming out. And it's so, to quote Palpatine, it's ironic because now the prequels are more popular than the sequels right now. Which I love. I just think it's the best bit of irony.
Yeah, it is pretty funny how these things like turned out and how, like, look, we're getting an ObiWan show and people couldn't be more excited to have Hayden Christensen back, which I think he would agree. Like, if that was to happen 10 years ago, he'd be like, what the hell? I thought you hated me. I thought you thought my acting was bad. You know?
Yeah. I mean, he appeared at Star Wars Celebration in 2017, and that was a huge deal because I think that was only the second time he had gone. I don't think he had been since 2002. And everyone
really?
was freaking out about that. It was a huge deal. And then now I think Ewan's going to his first one this year. next weekend, which is great. And I hope they feel the love.
I hope they feel the love as well. It's crazy
what do you guys think of the prequels coming back and making a quick turnaround in light of the sequel era? What do you guys think about that?
We shall manually open.
Oh, you about to die. You about to die. Wait, if they don't have the meditating thing here, I'm going to be really mad.
He's saving the game is what he's doing.
He's saving the game.
That's what he does in Jedi Fallen Order. To save the game, you have to meditate. So I think Qui-Gon is just saving the game. No, this is... I'm doing this all wrong.
While we're young.
I'm trying my best, okay?
Do or do not.
Where's the last one? Is it going here?
Yay!
I don't know if I did this right. Oh, yeah, I did. There we go.
I hate these in-between little side quests.
know.
I don't have patience for video games.
I don't like... I do for like an hour, and then I get tired of it. There he is. He was drinking a cup of coffee.
Is he force choking you? Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't meditate beforehand. You didn't save the game.
Don't worry, I got him now.
Is Obi-Wan caught behind the wall, or is he... We call that voice acting. Butters says, I think the prequels were really redeemed by the Clone Wars. They added so much depth to the war, and especially the clones and their personalities. Yes, I definitely agree. I think the Clone Wars actually surprised a lot of people because I think the Clone Wars as an animated TV series really broke a lot of barriers for animation and Star Wars storytelling. So I would definitely agree with that.
Oh, Qui-Gon killed him. What? Oh. I don't
Yeah, I gotta
remember the
make
movie
it-
going this way.
You gotta make it PG.
I suppose that's true.
Promise me you will train the boy.
Yes, Master.
Wait, did he just kick him in like a basketball?
Yeah.
Your little insurrection is at an end, Your Highness.
That's a pretty good voice actor right
That
there.
is a really good voice actor. That's probably also Phil Lamar.
This one's a decoy.
This one's a decoy.
Sounds like the same guy.
It very well could be, because for the Clone Wars as well is they would bring back a lot of the original voice actors. So like Lama Su and Ton Wei in Bad Batch were the same voice actors. They even brought what's her face who plays Shmi into the Clone Wars when Anakin's having that crazy dream on Mortis about his mom, and then that was creepy.
It's pretty cool.
You know, I read
those,
somewhere.
those little details matter.
Yeah. That's got to be the same guy. Ooh, Sadies. Where's the general? Where's the Gungan general? I love that character.
Be making our way to the battlefield.
Better call Maul.
See how I did.
Let's play as Jar Jar now.
Did not do great on the coins. Oh, I got one challenge.
Is that a
See, it's so hard to know how well you're doing.
Because you're focused on getting the level done and not really on the coins. Like, you got pretty focused when you were going at those lightsaber slaps.
Yeah, it's
with
tough.
Maul.
It's tough to talk and play this game at the same time. I have respect for streamers who do that. I'm like so into it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jar Jar, we must join the others.
All right, that's it for me. Answer one more question. What are you guys hoping to see most in Kenobi? I'm hoping to see ObiWan Kenobi. Also probably Darth Vader. Honestly, I'm not hoping to see anything, if that makes sense. I'm trying to keep my expectations clear. I'm trying to go in with as little expectations as possible and not try to get my hopes up for anything. I just want to let the story be told the way it's intended. It'll obviously be cool to see what I'm most excited to see would be Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting. Like, that'll be awesome. The emotional damage is going to be a lot, but I can't wait. And then I'm interested to see how they end it, because like we know what happens, but like I'm interested to see the way they complete the story from hopelessness to hope, which is kind of Star Wars is always a story of hope. So it's like, I don't know. That's what I'm hoping to see. What about you?
I'm interested in seeing how it changes and evolves certain lines that we know in A New Hope. Again, just like you, I don't really know if I have expectations so much as like I'm interested to see what they focus on. You know, I really like that bond between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and I really love their relationship. So I'd have to say I want to see how they're both kind of suffering, because Anakin feels betrayed by Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan is like, I cannot believe this happened, and I let it happen, and this guy was supposed to save the galaxy, and I loved him, and he was my brother. I've raised this kid, you know?
Yeah.
And so I really want to see that bond explored. And then the Clone Wars fan in me would like some Clone Wars flashbacks, because I think it would be fun to see Hayden and Ewan in that armor, and I think it would really help connect those two shows. And it's just kind of like a fangirl thing where it's like, oh, I really want to see that. And so other than that, specifically, and, you know, like the Vader versus Obi-Wan stuff, I don't really know if I actually have, like, set expectations, just because I really don't know what to expect. So I'm just trying to go in with a blank slate and see what they do. So it'll be a lot of fun to see what they pick and choose to focus on. I am hoping that the whole Anakin and Obi-Wan, you know, relationship is super focused on, but other than that, I'm here for the ride. I'm here to enjoy it. I'm excited to see what they do and what they focus on.
I'm agree with you. I'm hoping to see not too much. I'm hoping they don't try to
What do
do
you mean?
too much. Like, I would like them
just
to
too many storylines?
Yes, keep it simple. We know what happens. We know what happened before. We know what happens after. Let's really dive deep into these characters, you know, and like let's not rush through anything. Let's not try to fit too much in. Let's let it breathe a little bit. Have good pacing to the show, and tell a good story. So we're only a week away from finding this out. I mean, it's what? Today's Thursday, right?
It is 1 week from...
Or is today Wednesday?
It's Thursday, so it's 1 week from... I mean, tomorrow officially, but tonight. It's
Crazy.
1 week from tonight.
Crazy stuff.
That's insane. I don't even know, dude. I don't even know how I'm gonna like if I need to do a live stream or if I'm gonna like edit our normal episodes. Like, I have no idea how I'm gonna do that, because we're getting the first 2 episodes back to back, and if they're each an hour, like I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I don't know what I'm gonna do either. especially because I have Star Wars Celebration the next day.
I mean, like, you could just get a lot of sleep.
I'm just really hoping it doesn't. I'm just hoping it doesn't start or come out. I'm hoping it comes out at midnight Eastern time, so that it would 9 p.m. my time.
It could. It could. I really hope it does, because then otherwise you're gonna have to get up, go to Celebration, and be like, nobody tell me anything.
I know. Like,
I think it'll be out. And like, what's the worst?
Well, the other the only thing is I could wake up really early.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could wake up super early and then just live stream. You wouldn't even have to like put the episode up. You could just live stream and then put a timer on it or whatever, and just be like, hey, I'm at this point in the episode, and then react. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I'll figure it out. And then I'm going to England the next day. Next week's a crazy week. It's giving me anxiety thinking about it. But we're here making good content for you guys. We're doing it for you and for us. We're
suffering for you guys.
Have a good time.
I hope you're happy.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I'm going to transition this over real quick. Please go listen on to the show. We did the Vanity Fair article breakdown that came out today, so go listen to that if you haven't. Go follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, *Star_Wars_pod. And click the notification bell if you're here on YouTube. Let us know if you guys want to get those T-shirts or more merch, and we'll get working on that. I think we had some people interested in merch earlier, Melissa. So,
we did.
Maybe we can start offering those, or memberships. Like I said, we're not going to launch that quite yet, but now's a good time to start talking about it. What you guys would be interested in. So leave a comment on this video or another video, and let us know what would be interesting for you guys. And drop us a comment and a like. And if you really love us on our streams, you can show appreciation by sending a super chat or a super sticker. Would be awesome. But we'll be back next week. I'm sure we'll probably talk before Kenobi. I don't know.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's plan on a stream and then maybe a short podcast episode to be like last minute hype before we get into Kenobi.
Okay.
And then we'll all get pumped up, and then we'll all be crying and screaming on Friday.
We will be. It's going to be an emotional show.
And the channel will be popping.
Michael Lloyd, catching up as we're finishing up. Thanks for joining us, Michael. You're late, but you can catch up. It's all good. We're ending it right now. We love you guys. We'll talk to you later. We'll see you next time on another Star Wars podcast. We'll see you guys.
See you guys.